don't know about you guys, but does it not feel sometimes that everything is hanging on by a thread? Uncertainty across the world, over in the States, here in Europe, both from an economic, a geopolitical perspective, the introduction of AI and its impact on the way we work going forward, and everyday challenges such as the cost of living. And it really begs the question, is everything gonna come crashing down? I'm gonna give you my thoughts along with what I believe you can do to protect yourself in times of uncertainty. So let's get right into it. So let's just give an overview of what is going on at the time of this video, or what factors could be playing a role in a lot of this uncertainty that we're thinking about and hearing about. So first, on the economic front, we've obviously got a lot going on. Over in the US, the introduction of tariffs has obviously had a big impact, both locally and globally, but also with the way that countries react to the tariffs. Here in Europe, there's also some economic challenges as well. German economy, where manufacturing, the automotive sector is struggling a bit, and that is one of the big components of the Eurozone economy. From a geopolitical perspective, I think everybody can agree, without going into details, that it's been a turbulent few years with numerous conflicts emerging, potential for future conflicts, and that can be quite unsettling for nations and people of those nations as well. Now, moving on to AI, of course, this has been around for quite a long time, but it's only really been in the past few years where we've seen such a broader scale rollout of AI, as well as some very, very rapid progress, fast development and adoption of AI within businesses. So of course there are benefits that come with using AI and how it can transform the way we work. But of course that adoption has come with and continues to come with the potential for disruptions in the labor market, the way jobs are done, the scope of certain jobs, and obviously in some cases, whether some jobs will exist. That's a big concern that a lot of people have as well. And finally, coming to the cost of living, I mean, honestly, it doesn't really matter where you live these days. It just seems that everything is getting more expensive. We had a time of quite high inflation through 2022, going into 2023. A little bit as well, and whilst inflation has slowed since then, particularly for those living in the big cities, then housing costs continue to rise rapidly, continue to eat up more and more of people's income, essentially, which at the same time is not really keeping up at the same rate of inflation in a lot of cases. There's a lot of things all going on at the same time, and some people might rightly ask, is it a ticking time bomb that at some point something is going to happen and the whole thing is just going to, cause complete chaos, a massive disruption, a major crisis? And so with all of that, and particularly as well with the internet and social media, where we're exposed to all of this constantly, it becomes really difficult to discern, real concern from something that is perhaps exaggerated or is perhaps noise, for example. And so when it comes to the question of should we be worried, I thought a lot about this question. And my answer, which may be to the disappointment of some of you, is that I just don't know. I genuinely couldn't answer that question today. I really don't know. Because growing up as a millennial, I'm in my early 30s now, like through the times I've lived, there's always been uncertainty, there's always been things going on that gave a sense of unpredictability that, something could happen, something could go wrong. But I don't think at any point has there been so many different things all at the same time to create such an uncertainty like we perhaps face in 2025 when I'm recording this video, going into 2026 as well. And so on one hand, it's easy to say, and I think it's possible as well, that just one of these things, or even something completely out of the blue, could just tip everything over, and before we know it, we're in some new kind of chaotic scenario, disruption, crisis, however you want to call it. But on the other hand, I also like to remember the expression, if everything is urgent, nothing is urgent. And so maybe the logic doesn't exactly translate, or doesn't translate perfectly across. But if all of these things are like critical or disruptive or potentially cause a crisis, struggling a bit with the phrasing, but couldn't we also say that not all of them are critical or urgent, are gonna cause disaster, essentially? Putting all of that aside anyways, the point is you got to focus on what is within your control, what you can control. Control the controllables, essentially. Whatever is within your control and you can do something about, that's where you can act and reduce your own sense of uncertainty. Because yes, whilst there might be global uncertainty or general uncertainty, you also got to zoom in a bit down to your level and think about your personal level of uncertainty within this wider context, because it's not going to be the same for everyone. So with that, what I'm going to tell you now are some steps that I believe you can take to reduce, minimize your personal uncertainty and to be able to power on and confidently face what may be otherwise challenging circumstances. Now, the first thing you can and should do is invest and save. Now, I'm talking financially speaking here. Yes, I'm talking, save some money, put money aside, make sure you've got an emergency or a resilience fund covering, at minimum a number of months' expenses. A lot of people say 3 to 6 months. If you want to be super resilient and extend that out, you can look to, 9 to 12 months, even beyond that in some cases, and, investing in assets as well. But I'm not just talking about that from a financial perspective. I am also talking about investing in yourself. So, training courses, learning, experience, knowledge. That might cost money, it might not cost money. It might just be, watching videos on YouTube, learning new things. It might be reading books, might be a certification, might be a course. Whatever that looks like for you to grow, invest in yourself, with the goal essentially being that experience, that knowledge you gain, it gives you a skill set. It gives you a valuable, marketable skill set that would allow you to generate income in whatever form and whatever shape that looks like, essentially. I want to touch on AI on this part as well, because yes, AI is transforming the way we work. It is changing a lot of the ways we do things. It can do a lot of stuff that would have been very manual for a human being to do before. And AI is constantly developing and improving. Yes, it is. First of all, if you can understand, use and leverage AI like that, that is working to your advantage. You can use that to work more efficiently, to do things, to produce higher quality output and to do things better. But what I want to say as well is, if you have a strong personal brand and a strong skill set, I strongly believe, and I believe more people are starting to see this as well, particularly if we look in the content creation and YouTube space, that a strong personal brand will outlast and it will beat AI. Because AI videos have started appearing in YouTube in big numbers this year. There are a lot of AI generated videos just going on YouTube. And from speaking to other YouTube viewers and to other creators as well, people don't necessarily want to watch AI generated videos. People want a human connection. They want to be able to relate to the person who's telling the story. I think for a lot of people that's the same when it comes to working, freelancing, whatever it is. They want to be able to have a connection with the person who's delivering the work to them. Yes, AI might be used, might make things quicker, might make things better. Personal connection, the personal experience of a human being cannot be beaten by AI. The next thing you can do that will greatly help you is monetize what you know. So this can be a particular skill you have, particular hobby you have. Maybe it's pet sitting, dog walking, sports refereeing, creating content about an interest you have. In the world we live in today, all of this can be monetized through a number of different platforms, a number of different means, and there are a number of different means to make money from these things. And what that does is it creates additional income streams for you. You're not dependent on one source of income for your survival in the worst case scenario. And in the best case scenario, additional income streams can help you accelerate your savings and investing and build wealth faster. This is definitely something you can think about how to leverage in your personal situation. Number 3, and this is a really important one, is to tune out the noise. There's so many ways that we can find out about the news these days, whether it's on TV, whether it's on the internet, whether it's on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be. We are, there's no shortage of news being sent to us. And not only that, but there may be bias in the news that we're being fed as well, whether it aligns with our views or not. What I started doing is not completely cutting out the news, because I think at least, having some idea of what's going on is good to have, but not going into it too much unless it's something you're really interested in or really want to understand or need to understand for whatever line of work or you're in. So I get my updates from Ground News, which essentially consolidates the news from multiple different media outlets and presents them in a nice digestible format to capture the key points of every news. And it will also tell you what media outlets are reporting on it and what side of the political spectrum they're on, as well as telling you how they're telling that story as well. It might tell you how the left are looking at one story versus how the right are looking at the same story, for example, as well as comparing what the centrist view on the story might be as well. Based on your interests and what you tend to look at as well, they'll also give you political blind spots, so stories that are not being covered by one side of the political spectrum, but that are by the other, and vice versa. And so I find Ground News very helpful for that. I'll leave my affiliate link in the video description as well for those of you who are interested in signing up to Ground News. As I say, for me it's been really helpful in just managing my news consumption and helping me to tune out the noise and focus on what I need to focus on.
You need to be like these guys. These guys aren't worried. These guys are chilling.
And the last thing I want to talk about should be really simple, but I think sometimes we can genuinely struggle with this. It's just looking after yourself, you know, just making sure you have healthy habits, like getting enough sleep and good quality sleep, uninterrupted in a good environment, making sure you eat well. I used to struggle a lot with sweet treats and snacks, and I've managed to cut that out over the past 3 or 4 months or so, and my energy levels have really improved since doing that. Balanced nutrition across your meals, getting out and doing exercise, and that doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, sports or going to the gym. Even if it's just going for a walk, you know, that can be a massive help in keeping active and doing exercise. And looking after your mental health as well, you know, checking in on your friends, like meeting up, talking to someone. You can be surprised how just talking to someone, whether it's a friend, family member, whoever it may be, can really change your perspective on a situation and really relieve some of the weight, some of the pressure that might be on you, and they might give you a different perspective of seeing things. And in a world where there's so much going on, there's so much noise, looking after yourself can be one of the best things you genuinely do for yourself. So in summary, yes, there's a lot going on in the world right now. Are we headed for chaos or a crisis? I don't know. Can you prepare for it and do something to protect yourself? Absolutely. And if you want to learn a bit more about some of the topics I covered in this video, like creating additional income streams, like understanding how to learn and invest in yourself, then be sure to check out my Global Financial Freedom Program, which I set up for people who are looking to take that next step in life, to invest in themselves, make additional money, grow and keep more of their wealth, and also explore global opportunities when it comes to things like relocation, moving abroad, and setting up somewhere that will allow you to live your best life. I'm running a special offer this Black Friday where anybody who signs up between now and next Sunday can either have the monthly access for only $4.99 per month. That means you can pay for as many months as you want access to the content, which is continually evolving and growing. Or you can have lifetime access to the whole program and any new content that's added for only 40 euros. That's 75% off in both cases versus the standard pricing. So don't miss out, guys. Do check out the video link if you're interested, and I'll see you over there. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting. Leave a comment and let me know how you feel about things and what you're doing to prepare and drown out the noise as well. If you like this video, then be sure to check out these 2 videos here, which you'll find interesting as well. So next time, I'll see you in the next one, and let's get this money.